right, here we go. Picking up with our clock drawing. A's should be completed, so we're going to move on to B's. For this drawing, looking at your plans, that's where the numbers are coming from. That's where the measurements are going to be generated. You're following those plans. However, drawing your B's, you got to draw them so they are on edge. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, just using my scroll bar. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click and I'm going to start using my rectangle tool and get that going in the position I want. Now, your lengths for your B's, they're 6 7/8 long. They are 3/4 inches wide, and the thickness is a 1/2 inch. Okay, so in this drawing, because I'm on edge, 1/2 inch is going to be one of my measurements here. Okay. So looking at my dimensions in the bottom right, that's how I'm determining the direction that I'm going. You can see it's 1 1/4 inches by 1 foot, 4 3/4. So I need to start with my 1/2 inch. So I'm going to start with my 1/2 inch measurement, comma, and then I'm going to make that the length, which is 6 7/8 inch. And then I'm going to hit enter. And there is the profile of a B. Remember, it's on edge. Okay, so now I'm going to go right to my push-pull tool. I'm going to take that surface, I'm going to bring that up, and B's are 3/4 of an inch. So 0.75, enter, and there is one of your B's. Okay. At this point, what I'm going to do, I need 3 of them, but I'm going to make one and then copy and paste. I'm going to duplicate, which you've learned in the earlier video here, what we did for our A's. But I got to make this a component. Okay, so this is very important. We talked about that. So I take my selection tool, I click, hold, drag, make sure everything is highlighted. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm then going to right click, and I'm going to, whoops, I clicked off of it. I'm going to right click, make component, and I'm going to name this B's. Hit OK. And I now have created my B. Okay, so we have part B here to our specs. I just need to put the rabbits in place. Again, rabbits are on the edge, and I'm going to go ahead and draw them. So when I do this, I want to draw from my top. Okay, so this is the top edge, and they're going to go on the ends, and they're going to go into the 1/4 inch rabbits, or 1/4 inch dado, sorry, that are in A's that we already made. Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. I got to start with my tape measure. So on my keypad, I'm hitting T, and that's going to bring me to my tape measure. I'm going to zoom in, and they're 1/4 by 1/4. So I'm going to come back that way and make sure you get that dotted line. There's 1/4 of an inch that way. And then I'm going to do the same thing this way. There's 1/4. And since I have my tape measure handy, I'm going to go ahead and just punch them in down on this end as well. I'm going to try to get it to match in between. You might have to change your views. There's 1/4. Okay. So I'm making a decision here. I'm going to go ahead and make that rabbit on the back corner right in here. All right. And then same thing there. So it's going to look something like this. Remember, this is a component. So it's selected. I got to right click, and I want to edit this component. I'm going to go right to my line tool. I'm going to zoom in just a shade, and I'm going to click. I'm going to go right to my push-pull tool. Oop. I didn't connect something here with my line tool. I'm just going to come back around real quick. Make sure I capture everything. I think now I got it. So there you go. So if you do that and you don't get the area shaded that you need, it's okay to go back to that line tool and go over it. Okay? And then I'm just going to drag that out. Done. I'm going to rotate around. Whoops. Zoom out just a shade. You'll get the hang of positioning yourself in this program. It is sometimes challenging. Okay, so right here is the other area. So I'm going to go to my line tool, and we're going to go ahead Knock that out. Notice I'm having problems because my screen position. So I'm just going to pan. No harm, no foul. I can go right back to my push-pull tool, pick that up, and complete it. Once they're done, I'm going to select off of it so I can't change it anymore. And now I've made one part B. All right. Let's copy that real quick. Move tool. Select it first, sorry. Go to my move tool. Go to a corner. Hold your control key down. Notice you get the plus sign. I'm going to click, hold, drag. There's one, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make one more because we need 3 total for our drawing. We have one more thing to take care of for part B. I'm going to refer to our drawing, and that is on our back of our clock. That assembly for the B. We got one embellishment that we need to put in there, and I'm kind of referring to that right here. All right. It goes right in there. And this is the information that I'm talking about. It's a 1/8 groove, 3/8 deep, and it's 1/8 from the back face. Okay. So this would be the back face that's coming in 1/8. So we're going to go ahead back over into SketchUp, and I'm going to show you how we draw that dado. Again, it's a 1/8 wide groove, and it is 3/8 deep, and it runs the whole length. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's draw that real quick, and that'll finalize that component for us. Okay, so I'm just going to choose one of these. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take this one that is right up top here. Okay, this is the one we're going to use. And I'm going to put that dado running right along here. All right, I'm going to get rid of my layout lines or my guides so it doesn't confuse you. All right, something just like so. And here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to lay this out. There's multiple ways of doing this. Here's where I want this to run. I'm going to come to this edge here. This is going to be my show side. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click and notice that is 1/4. And I'm going to put that mark right there. Then I'm going to come off of that mark. And I'm going to come and make another guide. And that one's going to be at 1/8 right there. All right. So that groove is going to fall right in that position. All right. So now I'm going to hold or go to my orbit tool, and I'm going to orbit that a little bit. And it says it needs to be 3/8 deep. So I know where my locations are there, but I need to come down, and it needs to be 3/8 deep. So I'm going to type in 3/8. And you can see there is that location. All right. So now let's see if I have what I need to draw this. Again, I'm going to select it. I have 3 of these components. So this is something new here. I need to make this unique because if I do a dado here, it's going to apply that on the other 2, and I don't need that. I just need one with this. So I'm going to make this unique first. I'm going to right click a second time. Now I'm going to edit that component. I'm going to go to my line tool, and I'm going to start right here to there. Make sure I'm on that blue axis. I should be able to go to my push-pull tool, and it selects that right there. I'm going to kind of just rotate just a little bit. Take that, knock that right off. And now your components for B are made. Moving on to component C. Component C, these numbers again are from your drawings. They are 6 and 7/8, so the same length as B's. They're a little wider though. They're 1.5 inches. Thickness is the same at a 1/2 inch, and they also get 1/4 inch rabbets on the end. So they're very similar to B's. So I'm going to work smarter, not harder here. Okay. As you progress, your drawing is going to get easier because we can duplicate parts based off the stuff that we've already established. And I'm going to do that here. So remember, this B here on the end has that dado through it. So I don't want to take that one. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to steal one of these or duplicate one of these. Again, to duplicate, I'm going to go to my move tool. After it's selected, I'm going to go to a corner. I'm going to hold my control key down. I get the plus sign, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag another one out. Notice I'm not worried about assembling this. I'm not putting them in the places that they need to go. I'm just going to draw all my parts, and then I'm going to place everything. Okay, so don't get concerned about placing them. Okay, so now here's this part. What I need to do is I need to make this a little bit bigger in the width dimension. Length is great. Thickness at 1/2 inch is good. The only thing I need to do from here to here is 3/4 of an inch, and I'll measure that so you guys can see that. So right there is 3/4. I need to use my push-pull tool and bring that up to 1 3/4. Okay, so I need to add 3/4 of an inch to it. Or 1.5 inches, sorry. I need to make it 1.5 inches. So I'm going to add 3/4 to it. Here's how I do it. I'm going to hit escape to get out of my tape measure tool. All right. I'm going to select it. I got to make it unique because if I change this one, it's going to change the height of the other 3. So I got to make this unique. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go ahead and make it unique first. Then I'm going to click on it again and I'm going to edit the component. I'm going to go right to my push pull tool. And I'm going to take that face, or that edge, sorry, that's not a face, that's an edge. And I'm going to start it in a direction that I want to add to it. And then I'm just going to punch in the measurement, 0.75 inches, enter. And then just to verify, I'm going to take my tape measure. It should be 1.5 inches. I now have my C made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit out. It's still in the edit component mode. So what I want to do is I want to get out of that. I don't want to make any more changes. So I'm going to click off of that. When I do, you can see when I click on it now, it becomes that solid blue. And I'm going to duplicate this because I need 2 C's for my drawing. So what I'm going to do now is go back to my move tool, control, click, release, drag out, and now I have 2 C's. So the last thing we need to do here to finalize one of our C's is just like on this B, we have that data that kind of runs through there. It's going to be in the same location. It's going to be the same width, but it's going to be a different depth. So I'm going to go ahead and get that laid out. So I'm going to take my tape measure. Let's see if my tools are responding here. And I'm going to pull out, that should be 1/4 of an inch. There's that. And then I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch that in as 1/8 of an inch. There's that line. And on your C, the depth of it is only 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to come down 1/8. And there it is. So you can see it's really, really, really shallow here. Okay. We'll just verify that measurement. Oh, let's do this here again. I don't like the way that it pulled. I'm just going to make sure that it's correct. So I'm going to go to my tape measure one more time and make sure I'm on my edge. Yeah, that looks better. I want to be on that blue axis 1/8. Rotate that. Zoom out. That is what I'm looking for. Okay. So now I'm going to select that. I'm going to make that unique because I want it different than this one. I'm going to right click again. I'm going to edit this component. I'm going to go to my line tool. And I'm going to start right down here. Make sure you're on that blue axis when you come down. Come to my push pull. And there it is. I've now finalized my C's.